Greetings, greetings, goddesses and gods. Let's all take a moment of silence for the brains and the brains who are locked up in the trapped in the cages of our own minds. Greetings, if y'all's new here, don't forget, if you're just now watching it or if you're just watching it out the blue, subscribe, hit the bell, get notified, and all that other bullshit. Let's get down to business. Right on. I was reading something from Noam Chomsky. What is a gnome? Interesting. What a gnome is, a gnome is a hoarder. Underground, he hoards gold. He's a gold hoarder, money maker. Money, and we go with the law of water. Water is money. Law of water. Admiralty law. Maritime admiralty. But anyway, that's something fucking complicated and a huge subject that will take many hours. But I was reading something. Let me read this to you. Noam Chomsky says the whole educational and professional training system is a very elaborate filter, which just weeds out people who are too independent. But wait a minute, isn't that what America is supposed to be? Independency? But what do I know? I don't know nothing about that shit. Anyway, self-independency, self-individualism. All right. So if it just reads out, and who think for themselves, and who do not know how to be submissive, and so on, because they're dysfunctional to the institutions. Just sort of like how I was through school, the institutions, I was, dysfunctional, they would say. They called me the devil. In Catholic school, I was the devil because I was dysfunctional. You see the label. These are labels. Dysfunctional is a label. It's a label, and this is just corporate. This is what corporate law. This is a corporate law. And if you look in the law dictionary, okay, if you look up in the law dictionary, look up what a people is, or what a human is. Look up what a monster is. Look these things up, because you'll be surprised. And this is how they were viewing me, as a monster. I was a dysfunctional monster. And, they tried, throughout the year, they tried to get everyone involved. They just tried to say something was wrong with me because I wasn't going with order. I was out of their order. I dissolved the boundaries of that joint. Dissolving boundaries. How did I do that? I was a class clown. I was just living the good life, being happy. Because that's what life was about, being happy. It's not about being institutionalized, brain work, and you get so caught up, and then you're off to college, you pick up debt, and then you got more debt, and debt, and then you got anxiety, you got all kinds of problems. You got to go see a doctor, you got to take pills, and do all this shit because of the institutions, because of corporate law, because of the United States corporation, big bankers or gangsters or whatever you want to call them. That's all it really comes down to. It's just corporate law. This is what corporate people law. This is the corporate way. Corporate law does this. Corporate law has when you use symbols, when you use everyday symbols, certain symbols that you use and throughout the day, do not have the same meaning in corporate law. This is why we have different dictionaries and things to look up, I'm just having problems. So what happens is when you're dysfunctional to the, institutions, you become psychotic. And what happens is, what a psychotic really is, if you really look at the word psychotic, it really means someone you're hearing to hear the soul. That's what it really means. To hear your own soul. And this is not good. Why do they create these institutions? These institutions are created because they fear people like us, people who are dysfunctional, who don't want, who have their own order. Rather, they want order, but not an instilled order, not something that is being, instilled in me through propaganda and through propaganda and through fear-mongering tactics. But that's what they're about. This is why corporate law was even started. And these group of bankers, they fear us. They fear us because so we don't go up in the banks and rob these banks and demand justice. So they created this whole fucking nonsense that you see here today and throughout history, ever since the banking system started, which is the law of water. So if you can start using the law of water to your advantage, you are using the system against the system. Law of water, maritime admiralty, banking law, banking. For as long as we keep dealing with money, currency, it doesn't matter what color you are, what nationality you are, what fucking country you're from. Money is money. It doesn't matter. Whenever time you're dealing with money, or you're working, you're doing work, you're exchanging money, whatever money, you're under maritime admiralty banking laws. And when I said that the body is a corporate, the body is a business, because who I hang around with is none of your business, or who he's hanging around with is his business. That's his business. You see what I'm saying? You see how we speak? When we speak, look at what we're saying. Listen to what you are saying. The body is a corporation. We are a maritime admiralty product in working on international law. That's all it really is. So, but to get down to this institute, but anyway, to get down to the dysfunctional institution, I was pushed in the back. I was dysfunctional. I didn't want to be that way because it's uncomfortable to me. I didn't want to be what they wanted me to be. They try to make you. They sell you ideologies that we buy into as a child. And this really, in a shamanic perspective, is about soul theft. This is where soul loss. This is what soul loss is. Right there. Right what he says right there. And the whole system. Listen to what they say. System. It's a system. System. Again, nobody gives a fuck about you. Nobody cares about you. The system don't care about you. As long as you're divided and you give them money, that's all they care about. So, on that happy note, I thought I would share that. Let me read it again. He says, the whole educational and professional training system is a very elaborate filter, which just weeds out people who are too independent and who think for themselves and who do not know how to be submissive and so on, because they're dysfunctional to the institutions. Soul loss, my friends. Soul theft. It happens daily. It's a daily grind for the corporate law, for the corporate institutions, for corporate. And again, corporate law, individual law, this is where the earth is being separate. When you hear people saying, the earth will split 3D, 5D, blah, blah, it's been split for eons. It's been split. There is no splitting. It's already split. It's all in your perception, how you view it. Corporate law is a different part of the earth, different earth that I don't even see, I don't even have nothing to do with. I play it. I play the game to benefit me because I'm so dysfunctional. And I make my own order. And if you need, left or right to know what's left and, if you need the left or the right to know what's right, then you don't need left or right or red or blue. You need morals, morality, individual morality, which is another thing that these institutions, instill you. What is right? They're telling you what's right. And again, this goes back to education is not it's training. It's just training. It's not knowledge. Knowledge is experience. Anyway, that's a whole nother hour for that. I don't have time for that right now. I'm on the road. As you can see, I'm on the road all the time. I'm on the road all the time, right? Trying to get my order down. What places us out of order? Speaking of English and relying on English language to define your reality. Speak slang. Rename everything you can that represents something that you mean, that represents something about you. That represents you. Rename it. Change everything you can. That's how you create reality. You just shove it right in their fucking face. And they'll call it dysfunctional or all these other fancy terms and that they create, they make up, because that's what corporate does. Corporate makes shit up as they go along. As spirituality, the shamans and these witches, they make shit up as we go along. What do you think corporate's doing? They're making shit up as they go along. There's no law. They're lawless, making laws as they go along. They have no laws. That's all lawlessness. That's all it is. Let's get out of here, man. I ain't got time. I love you guys. Be fucking real. Be unique. Be magical. And go with it. Right? Go with it. There's a hawk sitting up on the light, waiting for his dinner or lunch or whatever the fuck. Anyway, be real, be unique, be magical and all that other flamboyant shit. And I'll see you soon. Much love. Blessings. Poppy out. And Allah and all that good stuff. Praise Allah. Ah, shit, Alright, let's get out of here, man. Fuck that. I'll see y'all soon.